Hello YouTube, GamerGuy85 here yet again, and I'm here today to talk about a book. Yeah, you heard right. A gamer talking about a book. Well, this isn't just any book. This is a book related to that was released alongside the Super Nintendo Classic called Playing with Superpower. For those of you who don't know what this is, it's a book that was released and it talks about certain things about the Super Nintendo. Now, the NES Classic had a book like this, and it was basically just a bunch of strategy guides for that game, for those games that were on the system. This book is not like that. It talks a little bit more about the history of the Super Nintendo. It goes over interesting designs, and it does have some extra features that go beyond just having strategy guides for the games. So I'm doing this video today. Right now, we're gonna open up this book, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the all opened up, and I'll give you my honest opinion about it. Okay, so here's the book. I already took it out of the plastic wrap. This is the back page thing. It tells you about now you're playing with Superpower. You know, gives you a little history about the development, some tips from speedrunners. A little bit more about the first part, about the games that are on it. Not so much walkthroughs, but some tidbits about it. Some gallery of the fans. This is the special edition, so you get a free $10 e-guide, which is pretty cool. And then here's something. Now I'll be honest with you. I wasn't planning on getting this, mainly because that just seems like a lot to me to spend on this after I've already spent, $80 on the console and another $50 on 2 controllers for it. Review on those are coming. But Best Buy had this on sale for $29, so for that price, I was sold on it. Now let's take a look at the book. Now that we got that out of the way here, let's take a look at the book itself. Now, it's a heavy book. What's really cool is that it looks like it's in a Super Nintendo case, and it's a slip case that comes off, and it looks like a giant Super Nintendo cartridge. I mean, you got it even feels like one with the ridges and everything. It's got nice weight to it. The cover feels good. Opens up really nicely. You got a Ford from President of Nintendo. Some cool pictures, some cool artwork. There's some details about where all the games are. You got the table of contents. So the first part talks about the Super Nintendo itself, launch titles, the legacy of it, and give you some different design things. Like this section obviously talks about horizontal ejection things. This shows you some different designs of some different initial designs of the Super Nintendo itself. You see, like this one kind of maintained the old NES aesthetic. This one these two right here kind of remind me of that what's it called? That retro AVS system, the one that's for Nintendo games that costs like over $500. That's what this design kind of reminds me of right here. Maybe that's where they got the idea for that system. Who knows? You got some Nintendo thing from Nintendo Power that talks about Super NES Q&As. Some comparison screenshots of games. You can see here they compare, like, there's a comparison of Metroid to Super Metroid, and then you got Legend of Zelda: The Link to the Past and Donkey Kong to Donkey Kong Country. Personally, I think for that one they should have just done like a straight up shot from Super Mario Brothers to Super Mario like All-Stars version. But I can understand why they chose these games, because the 3 Super Nintendo games are all featured on the SNES Classic. You see here, this next section, talks about some more under the hood stuff about the Super Nintendo, and then shows you different generations all the way from the NES all the way down to the Switch, which is something I'm hoping to get for Christmas. Some different the accessories, you got the controllers, both versions of it, the American Super Nintendo and the Famicom, Super Famicom, the mouse, which, for the games it worked with, was an interesting peripheral. The Super Scope, which was, and again, the evolution of the Zapper, which everyone, liked to play Duck Hunt, so that was pretty cool. Some other things like the Satellaview, which we did not get in North America. The top 20 best-selling games, obviously, number 1 being Super Mario World, which kind of surprised me. I figured Zelda would have been higher up on the list, but there it is sitting at number 7. Then they got a thing about the Nintendo. Then they got a section, the Nintendo Hardware Museum, so you see all the different hardwares. Look, there's a Game & Watch, and you got the Game Boy, things like that. Then they get into the games, and they talk about Super Mario World here. Like, they give you a little blurb about the game, some interesting, who developed it, who published it, when was it released, and they give you some notes on the development of it. Some secret tests, like down here's the secret test levels. Different things about the game, about the characters, about, Yoshi, and, all this other stuff. And then there's a few, there's a few things, like they got some maps here, some screenshots of, like, this is of Yoshi's Island 2, this is of Donut Secret 2. And they just give, it's not a walkthrough, but it does give you a map of some of the, secret of some of the one of the levels from each of the areas. There's the Vanilla Dome and all that and all these levels here. Chocolate Island, the Valley of Bowser, Star World. It gives you, all information on all that. Some things about, something here about 16 bits and, all these things here. So, here's some information from a speedrunner, obviously going to tell you how to play it fast. So, and then the legacy of it. It gives you a bunch of different information about some of the legacy of Mario, which should go without saying. And then they go to the next game, and, so page after page after page about each of the games that, some of the games that are on the system. Here's obviously stuff about Link to the Past with a really nice, I might actually want to take a picture of that and use that as my background on my phone or my computer, because that looks really awesome. Just that one page. Then obviously, they talk about the Light and the Dark worlds, which those are really good prints of that too. I kind of like those. And, they give more details about everything, more about the legacy of it. Obviously, this is for Mario Kart. More details on that. And then they go over Star Fox. There's Star Fox there. Talk about Star Fox 2, which the Super Nintendo Classic is the first official time Star Fox 2 has been released in North America. It was never officially released. So technically, if you want to be technical, 2017 has seen the release of a brand new Super Nintendo game, only on the Super Nintendo Classic. So definitely one of the reasons to make it worth getting. Obviously now we got Samus, we got Super Metroid, and lots of information about that. And look, it gives you, semi-completed maps of Brinstar and of, like, the wrecked ship and Norfair, Meridia, all these different things it's got. So it goes through just about Donkey Kong Country there, and lots of stuff for each game. There's Kirby's Dream Course, Earthbound, another reason to get the Super Nintendo Classic, as this game right here goes anywhere from $150 to $200 easily, whereas $80 will get it for you on this, and it's the same game. So yeah, is this book cool? I mean, you got Yoshi's Island, you know, super fans, you know, shows you some of the artwork, you know, some of the art stuff that people have done with, you know, for their love of the Super Nintendo. Like, this is like some shadow boxes that people make, and, you know, different things about how this system has impacted gamers. So really, it's a really interesting book. I like how it's put together. I'm looking forward to actually sitting down and going through it all and really taking my time to look at it and enjoy it and read some of the stories about the Super Nintendo that, you know, I'll be honest, Super Nintendo was one system I never actually owned, so this will be, you know, an interesting way to look at it. So now let me give you my final thoughts on the book, and I'll let you know if I liked it. So there was an overall look of Playing with Superpower, which is all about the SNES Classic and the games that are on it. Is it worth getting? You know, my honest opinion, my honest feelings, if you're a fan of the Super Nintendo, like a big fan of the Super Nintendo, then yeah, you know, this is definitely worth your time and effort to get. Honestly, for me personally, at $45, it wouldn't have been worth it, but now that Best Buy has them at $30, at $29, $30 range, yeah, I think it would be worth it. Especially, you know, like I said, you get the free e-guide, which says it has includes bonus speedrun videos. So, you know, I'm going to take a look at what that is. I'm thinking it's going to be the same thing, only with some interactive stuff. But yeah, so if you got them, if you love the Super Nintendo, you want this, definitely, you know, go ahead and pick this up. You know, like I said, it's on sale at Best Buy right now for $29. Can't really go wrong with it. You'll learn a lot of fascinating facts about the Super Nintendo and about the games that are featured in the Super Nintendo Classic. So it's really a great companion piece for that. I'm GamerGuy85. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for my reviews of the 8BitDo Super Nintendo Classic wireless controllers. They haven't been released yet. They're releasing those on December 10th. I've already got my order in for one of each style. They can have one for the Super Nintendo style and one for the Super Famicom style. So I will give you a review on an unboxing and review on those as soon as they come in. And, you know, thanks for watching my channel. If you like what you see, hit that, give me a like if you like what you see, and hit that subscribe button so that I can get some more subscribers, and, you know, you can stay up to date on the latest from my channel. I look forward to evolving this channel with you guys watching, and hopefully we can grow together in gaming. So game on, and I'll catch you next time. Later.